Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast That Wouldn't Die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool would give up a chance for a 30% discount.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Hello.
This week, we're discussing the new classic, Weapons, starring Julie Garner and Josh Brolin, and it's an all-star cast. The hits just keep on coming. Each week on the podcast, Each week on the podcast That Wouldn't Die, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's the latest with you?
Oh, I'm working all weekend. There's just too much. The beginning of the year is too much work. So I'm just putting Boardwalk Empire, which is the best. Steve Buscemi is the best.
Never seen it.
And, dude, you've never seen it? Is that what you said?
Never seen it.
Because you hate goodness?
Partly.
I think I watched the end of it, so I've started all over again. It's so good. At first I was like, meh, but now it's just on a perpetual loop. There's 5 seasons. I think I'm ankle deep in season 2. So it just plays in the background as I do my chores, and then eventually I'm on the seat and 6 hours have passed. So it's one of these things when it's streaming and it's all available, eventually I start to hate it because I'm trapped. I can't leave. When will this be over? When can I return to my life? So I have to be good and manage my time.
I was talking to my kids about how the way people watch TV is so different now than it was back in the day when I was a kid. It's like you had to just look at the TV guide. When is the show going to be on? And you better watch it. Otherwise, you're going to miss it for forever.
Dude, it was a thing. You go through the TV guide, you highlight the shows you wanted to watch so you wouldn't forget, because that was it. Like, oh my God, this does sound like some kind of old, like we're on Merv Griffin or something. Yep. Back in the day, you watched it because it was on. What are you going to do, not watch TV? Of course not, you fool. You're going to watch whatever. On Sundays, there were no cartoons except for the Jesus cartoon, Davy and Goliath. So you were going to watch it.
Which was not a cartoon, by the way.
It was stop motion animation, whatever. Like Gumby and Pokey. But It was all there was. So you were compelled to watch it. Like when I was in college. We only had 3 channels. So on Sunday, it was football, the PTL club. Guess what I was watching?
You did not watch PTL.
I watched PTL because I was fascinated. Praise the Lord. Because Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. How can you not watch that? Same thing, 2 a.m. I'd come home from college or from a night of drinking, and it would be that other televangelist like Tillman or something. He would start speaking in tongues. As Catholics, if you're speaking in tongues, I assume we need an exorcist because the devil's leaking out.
100%.
He would just start praying, then all of a sudden bust out speaking in tongues. And the best part about him was, I think Geraldo Rivera exposed him. Like, people would send in prayer prayer requests with cash, and they went to the dumpster outside his offices, and all you saw were these piles of envelopes where the top had just been slit, the money taken out, and the prayer is still in there in the trash.
That's bad. How's it bad? Is he supposed to like keep the prayer requests forever? But if he's not even looking at them, that's even
worse. Yeah, scam. Robert, I can't remember it. And strangely, it popped up on my TikTok. I was like, oh.
I was also talking about how like the late night talk shows are all going away.
Yeah. Right? Well, some of them are going away for other reasons.
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination of things, but it's also like I talk to my kids. It's like, does anybody really watch Saturday Night Live anymore? And they're like, well, you'll see the clips of the funny ones on TikTok or whatever, but no one's just making a point to stay up to watch Saturday Night Live anymore. So that show maybe.
I used to record it, but really, the problem with Saturday Night Live is it's not consistent. It used to, depending on the cast, they'll have these fantastic casts that'll run for a little while, and then they'll all leave to get rich and famous, and then there'll be a couple of years of nothing, where everyone sucks. They disappear, and quite frankly, now it's kind of like, One, I never gave a shit about the musical guest, so that's a fast forward.
We've talked about that, yeah.
Yeah. And even in the classics, it was always like, when I was in high school, I didn't want to hear 90 minutes of Ray Charles. That sounded terrible to me. Quite frankly, I wasn't even to the Blues Brothers. I'm like, that was their gig. They were high on cocaine, listening to the Blues Brothers. So it's like, yeah, exactly. If it's good, it'll be on TikTok. Like I said, I used to record it to watch it in the morning, but I'm like, they started stacking up because I was not compelled to watch it.
The issue is that even in our rose-colored glasses of yesteryear, it's like if you sat up and watched it, you were lucky if you had like 2 sketches that you really laughed about. And then the rest would be kind of mid, or look, I'm using the lingo, kind of mid.
The lingo from 5 years ago. Is that what you meant?
Perhaps. Where you're just kind of like, whatever. I mean, there were plenty of episodes, even in what I considered my heyday, where I stayed up for this. That didn't do it for me. But now it's like, now we can just pick and choose, so I don't have to stay up and watch. So it's a whole different thing. So it may be going away eventually too.
I mean, it was really big when I was in college, and if you got home early enough to watch it, because it came on like at 11, when back in the day you were going out at 10.
Right.
But then came the joy. I mean, you were lucky if you caught the last half hour, because it was like a 90-minute show. It'd be perfect because you're kind of juiced up from being out. You need to stay awake a little bit longer, so you're not going to sleep with just a full belly of alcohol. And you just kind of put it on as you drifted away. Now it's like,
no can do.
Dude, I'm the same. I'm cutting ties with everybody. I'm not watching Bill Maher anymore. I could give a f***. Have you, now that... what's his name is back on Comedy Central, are you watching that?
What show are you talking about? Stephen Colbert or whatever?
Not Stephen Colbert.
Jon Stewart.
Is Jon Stewart back? He used to be great. That's why I had a hard transition going from Stewart to Maher, because Maher is kind of an asshole and he's darker.
Right. You know what it is, though? I really don't tune in to watch any of these shows anymore. You know what I mean?
I used to watch The Daily Show all the time.
I used to watch... Go ahead.
I used to watch Talk Soup all the time. That was, back in its heyday, that was the greatest show ever.
In the 90s, I watched The Daily Show when it was Craig Kilborn. If you want to go back. I like to tune in and watch it. And it became a different show when Jon Stewart became the guy. And actually, obviously, a better show. But at that point, I was no longer in college, and I was like, now I had like responsibilities and things I needed to do, so I wasn't rushing home to check into Comedy Central.
Jon Stewart was my news. I would record it and watch it when I got home. That was my news report. It'd be one day late, but that was my news report.
The Daily Show originally was just a comedy show. It was just kind of wacky little stuff. And then when Jon Stewart took over, it became a political show where it talked about
Stephen
real
Colbert was on it. Yes. It was all these people.
100%.
It was really the highlight. And then he stepped down. He burnt out. And then they had that other guy.
Trevor Noah was the host for a long time.
I mean, no, I didn't care for Trevor Noah. He seems like a nice person. He's really not that funny. He was not speaking to me.
He's not your jam?
Not my jam.
Anyway, why don't we talk about this movie? Why don't you give us your 30-second synopsis of Weapons?
Dude, witches be bitches. That's my review. And you get what you get. Dude. I mean, it's always a nice tale when bad things happen to bad people. I listened to this, what's his name? The guy who he has a podcast. He wrote 1,000 books.
You're talking about Tipping Point, that guy?
Yeah.
What? Now I'm having a.
See, it's spread. The Contagion. I think it's The Last of Us.
I know who you're talking about. Yes, the guy. He's very smart.
The guy who does the thing about the stuff. So anyway, I listened to this podcast while I was in Iceland years ago. Mm-hmm. And it talks about the old fairy tales, how when they became Disneyfied, it ruined everything. Because the old fairy tales, bad things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people. And then they became Disneyfied, where bad people always get their thing.
Correct.
Which becomes a problem if you're a good kid
and bad things
and you have nightmare parents, Christmas doesn't come, why am I being punished? This is like some kind of Catholic guilt thing, right?
Right, 100%.
But in the reality is things are so much more random.
Of course.
You could be the best person in the world. Yeah, like life. Oh, monkey. That's just what happens. In fact, I was watching Boardwalk Empire. The daughter has polio, and she's living in sin with Steve Buscemi. He killed her abusive husband, so she's convinced she's being punished by God for her lifestyle and all of this. That's just not it. That's not what happens. But in this movie, that's what happens. It does have a nice bow, and normally that irritates me, but I thought it wrapped it up very nicely.
Malcolm Gladwell is who you're trying to
Malcolm Gladwell. I love Malcolm. I've read like 50 of his books. I listen to his podcasts. He's always very interesting. He's a treasure. Absolutely. He's a national treasure. He and Dolly
Canadian,
Parton.
But he's also...
He lives here.
Anywho. No. I remember seeing the ads for this and for Weapons, and it looked creepy. It gave you that creepy vibe, but it also was kind of a mystery. Where did all these children go? And I have to say, and I always have this feeling, because I'm trying to put the pieces together. Like, how could these kids all get up and run away from their houses at the same time?
Naruto run.
It was a Naruto run. But my question...
They were storming Area 51.
Could be. But this is the thing about it, where I'm sitting there going, how did they get this to work? And I'm always a little disappointed, truthfully, when the answer is magic. You know what I mean? Where it's not like,
it's a witch! How else were they going to do it?
Right. That's the thing. Whenever these kind of impossible situations are presented, I'm trying to figure out how they could do it. And whenever the solution is magic, then I'm always kind of like, oh, well, then anything is possible, right? Then
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. So,
what did you think this was going to be about? Did you already cheat and read?
No, I had no idea. Had no idea walking. I walked in there cold. I sat and watched it with my daughter, Lucy. She's the one I can count on to watch these movies. Grace loves these movies, but when I say, do you want to see them? She's like, yeah, I'm going with my 3 friends tomorrow and you're not invited.
You're not invited.
Okay. Thanks. And Caleb hates films. So I wonder if he's the
I hate all film and music and anything else that you hold dear.
I hate culture. I hate it all. So we rolled in there totally cold, and I have to say, I think the first 3/4 of this movie is a blessing. It is funny. It has like the scares. It has like the tension. All these things. But I always have to warn people. After 3/4 of the way, the violence ratchets up. Now it's still a good movie.
You told me that. I was expecting much worse.
It's not that it's like a cacophony of just gore. It's not Fulci, but there are some scenes that are just like, oh shit, where I had to like kind of almost turn away. Truthfully.
I'm not sure if you're headbutting someone until their head is pulp. What's happening with your head?
I think his head is kind of jacked too.
Did his partner not have any calcium? So it was like an eggshell skull? I feel like if you're using your head for that kind of force, an equal amount of damage is going to be happening.
You think it would kill you both, you'd think eventually. But that's the craziness of just in general headbutts, right?
Yes.
Wouldn't you always just hurt yourself just as much?
Yeah, it's like I never understood that in soccer. I'm like, that always seemed like a bad idea.
Yes, they do not encourage it in youth soccer these days. It's just
in youth soccer. Everybody else can get punched in the head.
It's like, who cares that? Well, it's just a ball. It's not like a bowling ball or something you're cracking your skull on.
I mean, honestly, it's coming at you with a certain amount of force.
Fair. That's fair.
It is going to cause your brain to wiggle and jiggle like a bowl of jelly.
Absolutely, like Santa's
That's the problem.
When I heard this movie was by the maker of Barbarian, I was in. I said, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up? You and I both know we loved Barbarian. So I'm in. So
I was totally confused about what happened. I tried to write down predictions, but it's hard to make notes in a pitch black theater while eating nachos. You got to have a nacho hand and a hand for the pen.
100%.
Because while you're eating, you can't see what you're doing. So your fist is just swimming in a sea of cheese, and you're like a monster. It's like you're in medieval times, rooting around in a bowl of slop.
Never do nachos in the theater. Because in the dark, you're trying to watch a show. It's just like you say. You put your hand, knuckle deep in some kind of cheese, and you're like, what the hell is happening? You're spilling glop on yourself. Don't do it.
For all we know, everyone in the kitchen took a turn spitting into my nachos, but I'll never know. So please 100%. Don't tell me.
Pro tip, don't do nachos in the theater. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So at one point in the movie,
yes,
Josh Brolin is freaking out watching the old videos, and he has like this lucid dream where he follows his child's path, and he sees this like M16 rifle with a time floating over a house. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so maybe this is, for some reason, I thought this was going to be like political. So I was like, okay, did all these children disappear because like a gunman was going to come in and shoot up the school? What is the point of that M16 rifle? Apparently nothing.
No, the kids are the weapons. You don't even make that. Yeah.
First of all, the kids were not the fucking weapons. They just sat doped out in the bottom until the very end when they were turned on her.
Right. Let me rephrase it. Whenever the witch woman snaps the branch or whatever the hell, she sends out the person like a weapon, like a missile to hunt down whoever.
But it was never the kids.
Well, I think the idea is, you're right. It was never the kids until the end when things took a turn. But that's the idea behind it. Like she can control them to such a degree that they're just mindless and can do it, follow her words. That's what the movie's called, Weapons.
And let me just say, because we're gonna make some critiques about this.
Please.
While I was watching this, I was in full suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
Everything seemed absolutely fine and perfect. It seemed very perfect. It wasn't until later that I was like, well, what was the point of that? What was the but I was full in the fucking moment the entire freaking
and the whole theater was. Like it was a great theater going experience. People I was sitting there with, we were all into it. People were reacting audibly, and I
didn't see anybody. Well, I went at 10 in the morning the second week, so there was only on a Sunday. So there was only 10 people because the good mega church Christians in Bakersfield were still in church. It was me and a bunch, and everyone else looked like the magazine, not the magazine, the comic book guys from The Simpsons. Everybody else. I think I was the only female in the theater at 10 in the morning on a Sunday.
7 p.m. on a Wednesday first week, and the theater was full.
Yeah. I believe it. It was pin drop. I didn't hear jackasses answering their phone. No, I didn't see the flashlights turn it on, which is always a blessing. Which happens when you go to the superhero movies that people fucking drag me to. Then everybody's answering their phone, talking into their watch. Well, I'm in the movies. Oh, shut the.
The best movie going experience is when I see movies like Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris at 2 p.m. on a Sunday, and it's chock full of the elderly, and half of them fall asleep. The other half are like, "What's happening?
What did he say?"
That's the best. That's the best. Anyway, why don't we jump right into highlights?
That are your jackass friends constantly checking their watch. I'm like, are you a doctor? What are you concerned? Your children are home with your husband. Are they dead? Do you believe they're dead right now in the climax that we had to check your watch, which is now glowing in my eye? Maybe I'll just go to the movies by myself all the time. And one other thing, they did the preview for The Running Man, and it looked like shit.
Disagree. It looks like fun.
It looks like every fucking superhero movie that you worship.
And that's why I like it. Now, the good thing about it is it's Edgar Wright, since we're going to talk about this for a moment. Edgar Wright, who I love. And it's based upon the book, not based upon the Schwarzenegger movie.
Edgar Wright is hit and miss.
Ooh, I do not disagree. But when he's hitting hard. That's all I'm saying.
All right, brother.
Highlights. Aaron, what do you got?
Fucking Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter's not in this movie.
Who is the witch?
Oh, that is Amy Madigan. Amy Madigan.
Oh my God! I thought that was Holly Hunter the whole time. I didn't even look it up.
It took me a while. Amy Madigan, who I remember was in Field of Dreams. She played Kevin Costner's wife.
Oh, I see it now. I see it in my mind. Scene stealer every motherfucking time.
100%.
Scene stealer. She looked like the craziest witch. Now, in the end, what was her plan?
Okay.
What was she doing with the children? Was she sucking their essence out? Because it didn't look like it. Why did she need an army to cure her cancer?
This is what it was. Because there's nothing in the promos that give you any warning for this. You never see this character who suddenly appears like in flashes, like this clown that keeps popping up. You're like, whoa, why is this person popping up in their dreams? Why is this person like appearing in the woods? What's up with this person? So, because that's the thing. When the shit goes down, the teacher walks into her classroom empty except for one kid. And everybody's got their attention on the teacher, that the teacher did some shit. And of course, spoiler alert, 3/4 through the movie, we realize, no, they should have been looking at that one kid who's still there.
And you would think so. If only one person, you would think they would have something, they would know something's going on. They would be at that fucking house with the see the zombie parents.
Oh, 100%. There's no health check, but that's the thing. If you go walk in the house, then you're not coming out. No. That's the reveal, right? So what it is that kid's parents invited crazy Aunt Fanny, whose name I cannot remember, to come visit, who's basically hospice.
Not visit, live with.
To live with them, sorry. Who's basically dying of cancer or something. Like, she is like, she's having a rough go of it. And eventually she kind of does her magic on the parents and tries to steal their life force. And if you look, there's incremental changes. Like, she's a little bit better. Like, before, when she first came in, she was totally desiccated and had like no hair. And then you start to see like a little bit of hair. And she isn't as bad. It's not like, Sleeping Beauty, where it's like, oh, I'm perfectly cured. It was just like incremental changes, but not enough. Right. And that's why the witch woman goes, now I'm going to basically steal the life force. And you don't see her actually, like, you don't see her stealing the life force from anybody. She just kind of says as much. And she takes the entire class, which you think people are going to notice, right?
Right.
People are going to notice. Take the entire class. They're in the basement. And by the end of the movie, now she's got hair. It's still kind of wispy, but she looks a little bit better. It's a little bit better.
That's a lot. This is some shitty magic, all I can tell you.
100%.
This is the slowest shitty magic. I feel like chemotherapy might have worked a little faster.
You think so? Get some radiation. Well, I think we're supposed to think that this woman is like old as the hills. Like, she's been running this playbook for 100 years or whatever.
And I wonder if she's actually a relative, or is this something she just concocted? It's something my mother would have wanted. You know what I mean?
That's the question. We don't know. We don't know the answer to this. But when the people are under the spell, they're basically in a coma, essentially. Right. So the little kid, and they show this, has to go around and like feed them bowls of like Progresso soup just to keep them alive. Now,
and all I kept thinking is, something goes in, something must be coming out.
There's no scene of them marching down to the toilet, right? So, or changing their diapers. So, God, it must be a freaking freak show. Full britches left and right. That's all I kept thinking about. What goes up must
After I saw this, I was at work, and I look over, and there's this little girl with a stick, and she was wrapping stuff around it. I was like, oh, shit.
It's real!
I was grabbing people. I'm like, did you see weapons? Did you see what? Everybody's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, I was very concerned. I'm like, as long as I'm not in her bad graces. She didn't snip my hair.
So all we know is at the beginning of the movie, because they kind of say, because it's already happened when the movie begins, is that at, what was the time? It was like 3:00 in the morning, something like that. Right. All the kids except one from this class got up and just walked out the door and just ran off. And you could see through like the ring phones, you could see them running. And they'd run with their arms out behind themselves like a bird or some shit. And they just disappeared into the night, and no one knows where they went. And I kept thinking to myself, it's like, what about the rings, the ring doorbells on that street where the haunted house is?
Wouldn't you be looking at everyone's ring? Like, there was an incident in my neighborhood. The police came by. I see you have a Ring camera. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't pay for the subscription. They're like, you really should do that. They were very angry because I had a direct shot from my Ring camera over to this house down the street.
To the murder down the street.
To the murder.
Still unsolved. Thanks to you.
Still unsolved. Yes. The police blotter, there's like a black spot on my house.
The way they told this movie, which was kind of interesting, is it was told in a series of kind of Rashomon chapters, where you only get this person's point of view from this.
I did not see Rashomon. So are you saying, quit trying to be intellectual. Are you saying that that's the only movie there it goes from different POVs? Give me a break.
Rashomon is a famous Akira Kurosawa film where they tell the same story from various points of view. Was it the first one to, use this strategy? I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
Murnau in the German Impressionist period did it. Maybe Edison did it on his first, whatever, the zoetrope. I don't know. Who's to say?
Yes, I first saw it on a zoetrope, as a matter of fact, and in one of my other lives. That's correct.
100%. But there were some chapters I liked more than others, if I'm being honest. But they did kind of show this person's point of view, then they would show kind of a similar story, this person's life, where it would intersect with these other characters.
Just like the map that Josh Brolin had to figure out where all the children are. I love it. It's always in all these movies. The police never know what's going on, and it's up to the citizen. 100%. I also like that Josh Brolin is a bully and an asshole in this, and I love that his son is the bully asshole. Yes. Well, and they finally find his son, because I don't actually know who his son is until he finds the kids and he grabs it. And you're like,
100%.
The biggest jerk at the school was his beloved child.
But yeah, Josh Brolin eventually works with Julie Garner because he's like also the one who's kind of terrorizing her, because the whole town thinks that she's done something with their kids, essentially. So
because you just can't fathom. There's two people that nothing bad happened to, and you're not going to blame the kid, so it must be the teacher. So he's spray painted like a witch on her car. He's banging on. He's terrorizing her. Absolutely. She knows something and she won't tell it. And she does nothing to help herself. I mean, they show her, like from the kid's point of view, she seems like a very nice teacher with a total f***ed up personal life. She's a mess.
She's an alcoholic. She has kind of an on again, off again relationship with the police officer, who's also kind of a bad dude.
Yeah. Oh God, he was terrible. He was a monster. When they did the POV of the homeless kid, I felt so terrible for him. I'm like, poor. I mean, everyone did an amazing job in this movie. I mean, everyone sold their parts. The homeless kid, that was amazing. The cop kept getting stabbed with needles. Wouldn't you be going to the hospital and with the needle to test what the is there and not just throwing some Bactine on it?
Well, he turns
a homeless IV drug user stabs you with hypodermic needles, and you don't go see if there's hepatitis or something on there?
Yes. You don't have HIV or hepatitis.
You didn't ask him if you have hepatitis.
What?
He's like, maybe, I don't know. I could have it all. I could have everything. I'm an IV drug user.
This movie had genuinely funny moments where I was laughing over stuff. And I don't want to spoil it because it was very much, it wasn't like, by the way, have you seen The Naked Gun?
No.
Genuinely funny. Shockingly genuinely funny. But that's neither here nor there. This movie has also had genuine laughs.
Do you believe that Liam Neeson and Pam Anderson are actually in a relationship?
Isn't that crazy? That is the craziest.
Bless them.
You think it's fake?
I hope it is true. Bless them.
In the movie The Naked Gun, Liam Neeson, the character Frank Drebin Jr., talks about, I haven't been in a relationship since my wife died.
Whoa,
which is true.
Just like life. Like life.
Just like life. And then he starts a relationship with Pam Anderson in that movie. And he's in a relationship with Pam Anderson now in real life. That is the craziest thing. Hey, it's love. What you gonna do?
It must be love, love, love.
So Josh Brolin, I want to go back to this. He is a contractor who's so distracted by the disappearance of his son, obviously, that he's doing a shitty job on the sites where they're like, we painted the door the wrong color and we forgot to do X, Y, and Z. And I kept thinking, maybe that's the case of all the contractors I ever hire. They're just distracted because a witch has stolen their child. Is that possible? Because that would make a hell of a lot of sense.
On a dark turn, I was just listening. Sometimes when your podcast is on hiatus, they give you a sample of another podcast that they're producing.
Right.
And there was this one about a father who lost their child, and statistically, you never recover. Like you never when you.
Oh, I'm sure
it had to do with loss and returning to work and work productivity. You never recover from the loss of a child. You're never back to where you were on the job after that, which of course makes sense.
Of course. And I honestly, since I've had kids, I don't like horror movies where it's children in danger.
No.
You know what I mean? I hate them.
Oh, Dr. Sleep with the baseball boy. Oh, that was so upsetting.
Right?
Probably more upsetting for baseball boy, though.
You'd think. 100%. Well, it's also like I don't think there should ever be teenagers or children in zombie movies. Because inevitably they're going to get someone's getting eaten. So
how come Fulci hasn't done it? Like the zombies kick in the daycare center and just start eating babies. How come that hasn't happened yet?
Because we have to bring Fulci back from the dead to do that at this stage of the game.
Zombie Fulci makes a very special appearance.
By the way, I think I've told you this. I went through and after watching Zombie 2, as it's called, I went and started watching all of the series, the quote unquote series, which means different directors, all try to cash in on the zombie name. So I watched Zombie 3, Zombie 4, Zombie 5, and Zombie 3, which I think actually is directed by Fulci, is hilarious madness, and we have to add it to the list, even if no one else watches it.
Zombie 2 or Zombie is how when I saw it. It totally f***ed me up. I think I was like 15 when I saw it.
Absolutely.
And now, of course, it's schlocky. 500-year-old dead conquistadores still got enough muscle mass that they're going to crack me like a walnut and eat me? No.
Especially have to be buried like 3 inches below the surface of the ground. So they could just sit
whatever tropical place they were.
Good luck with that.
They're still fresh as a daisy. I never really understand the uncontrollable need to feed when you don't have a stomach.
Correct. 100%. These are all.
They just miss chewing. What if you gave them gum? Like human flavored gum. Remember True Blood? They had like fake blood. Maybe you could have like a true arm or something where they just need to chew.
True arm.
Tastes like people.
100%. Sweet. Let's get this train back on the tracks. What else you got for weapons, Aaron?
I took no notes because I was so totally engrossed. It was very upsetting when they turned the principal. She's at the gas station. She thinks Josh Brolin's coming to take another attack at her. He just is out of control.
He was all set to do it. And then the possessed principal shows up and attacks her. And he's like, oh, whoa.
With total bugged out eyes, like he's got some kind of thyroid disorder. But now we realize they popped out from him hammering his husband to death with his forehead.
Right.
And unstoppable. That's when they're possessed. They just keep coming until you've completely destroyed them.
Right. They literally say it's like a missile, like a homing missile shooting, and they come at you. They know where you are and they run to you until they get to you. And what's interesting is Josh Brolin at that moment was coming to harass her, and then she's attacked by the possessed dude, and he has to like decide what am I doing now? Am I gonna let this go down? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Right. And he does. He tries to protect her. He tries to fight the possessed guy. Like really puts himself on the line to get at her.
So so now they've worked it out. Now they're a team.
Any last thoughts, Aaron?
Dude, the auntie, the child that pays attention. Honestly. I mean, what am I going to change about this movie? I can't think 100%. Of anything that I would change. And everyone I talk to that has seen it thinks it's amazing.
Absolutely. It's. I don't think it's for everyone. I think it's for
if you're inclined to see a horror movie, you're going to go see it. But
100%.
Of the people that I know, even people at work, they're like, oh, yeah.
I agree. 100% agree. I want to talk again. The grisly moments are the headbutting scene that goes on and on and on. When Julie Garner is getting strangled by her erstwhile boyfriend who's possessed, and she picks up the potato peeler and starts peeling his face. I was
the only ridiculous thing. I was like, I could see it happening. I was like, as soon as she picked that up, like literally, that's the weapon I'm looking for.
That's what she can get her hand on. But you're right, it's not doing much. Just grossing out the audience.
Honestly, turn it around and stick it in his eye. But honestly, but I keep saying honestly, when they're possessed, it's not like, ouch. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's either you need to disable these mofos or you're in trouble. And what at the end, the big thing, crossing the salt line. I love it. It just went from everything's good to bang.
Yes. 100%.
That kid's parents are trying to kill him. I'm like, oh my God. It was all everywhere. It was tension and chaos and hijinks.
Well, and the kid saves the day because he has seen the witch woman, do the thing snapping the branch so many times. He figures out how to do it, snaps it, and sends all the kids after her. And that's kind of funny.
My students see me right on the board. I need you to send me an email. In the subject, put this. In the body, put this. For 2 weeks straight. I still get jib jab.
I mean, you gotta cut him some slack. Is all I'm saying. Am I wrong?
And yet, if devil worship was involved, they would have picked it up immediately.
Absolutely, well, that is true. That is absolutely true. No, they all come after the old woman, the witch woman, and they're like, she's running her little old lady legs, running through houses. It's like Raising Arizona. We're going through the houses, and like. The mob of 30 kids smashing through windows, going after her. That was a hilarious moment until they get to her. And then it goes, uh-oh.
And they're like, oh, yeah. The removal of the jaw and all that.
That was it. Boom. And this movie does not have a happy ending, spoiler alert, where it's like voiceover. Yeah. And who's the voice of the voiceover, by the way? A little girl voiceover tells the whole story, and we don't know who that person is.
No idea.
No idea. But they say that
I know you think like in a lot of these movies, you kill the head vampire, you kill the witch, everybody snaps back.
Not in this movie. The little boy's parents will be in institutions for the rest of their lives, having people feed them. Yeah. And some of the kids have started speaking again. Some of them. And that's how the movie ends. Good Lord. So not exactly a happy ending. So, such is life. Shall we go behind the scenes?
Let's go.
Let's see. Netflix was ready to pay more upfront money than New Line Cinema, but an assured theatrical release and New Line's track record with horror were better selling points, so they chose to go with New Line instead.
Always go to the theater first. You could always end up at Netflix, but people are going to take it more seriously if it plays in a theater.
I think if you go Netflix, it just disappears. It's like not even on the national consciousness. It may pop up briefly, but then it's just gone, and then no one ever thinks about it again.
Right. It needs to play in a theater first.
100%.
If it goes straight to Netflix, I feel like it wasn't good enough. Right. Like Salem's Lot.
That was not on Netflix, but yes.
But it's the same. It's streaming service. It was supposed to go to theaters, but they pulled it and released it on HBO. So we already knew it wasn't that good.
Right. So, I mean, it's kind of like that thing where it's like, if you go on Netflix, there's about 30 Ryan Reynolds movies that have never seen the light of the theater, and they're all crap. So
it's the new direct-to-video.
It is.
It's direct-to-streaming. And some are good. Sometimes they make their own films. But for the most part, it's direct-to-video.
I already said that one. To further capitalize on the themes of the movie, theaters listed showtimes at 2:17, the same time the children in the film vanished. Boom. Zach Krager, who's the writer and the director, revealed in an interview with the Associated Press that certain scenes that he thought of as so funny were to be cut if the jokes in question didn't elicit laughs from the test audiences. So he said, if the humor is coming from an authentic reaction that character's having, then it works. There's a lot of jokes that didn't make it into the movie that I thought were going to be so funny. And then we did a test screening and nobody laughed. And I'm like, okay, it's got to go.
Okay. Well, that's why you have test screening. I feel like this is not new information. You bored me with your...
Oh, shit, my bad. According to Time Out, on the busiest days of filming, the production would be home to more than 170 children. And the child labor coordinators were enlisted to keep the kids engaged when not filming. These are young kids, too. How old do you think these kids are?
I mean, they're elementary school kids.
Right.
They
fourth grade, maybe?
Fifth? Yeah, fourth or fifth, sixth, something like that. I can't tell. I can't tell what kids are. Sixth graders can look 22 or they can look like they're 8. You know what I mean?
I don't know about 22, but okay.
Dude, when I was in the elementary school, I remember this girl walking in, full face of makeup, boobs, everything. And I was like, is she a sixth grader? I was like, oh, shit.
That does happen. Rudy Mara and Elizabeth Olsen were offered the lead, but turned it down. And Pedro Pascal was cast, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts.
I mean, Josh Brolin was great.
He was dynamite.
I love Pedro Pascal. It would have been great, too.
Yep. Director Zach Cregger cites Magnolia as an inspiration on this film, with him looking...
You know I love Magnolia.
He wanted to make it an unapologetic epic in the vein of that film. I love that movie. I love that kind of bold scale. It gave me permission when I was writing to shoot for the stars and make it an epic. I wanted a horror.
Go for it, bro.
Boom.
Do you think this is going to get any nominations?
It could. It could, right? I'm not going to make any predictions because you never know with a horror film. But it's a film. It's a film, no question, right?
I feel the only reason The Substance got it because they wanted to make it some kind of a feminist bullshit with Demi Moore. I think that was pure political. I think this is so much better.
I don't disagree. Amy Madigan reflected on her approach to her character and Gladys's motivations. Despite admitting that her character is a bad guy in the movie, Madigan defends her villain character, stating she's a very misunderstood woman. I think she's very misunderstood. Go ahead.
When you're playing a character, you have to, come up with this whole backstory, I think, for most people. So you have to like your character. So
right.
She's not misunderstood. She's killing and destroying thousands of lives or just for her own needs.
Right. Well, everybody's the hero of their movie.
Right.
Right? No one's the villain of their own movie. Everyone's the hero of their own movie. They can always justify their actions.
Of course. We all can justify our actions. We all have reasons while we do things.
Reasons. Hashtag.
The reason might be because we don't like you. So now I'm going to do this. That's my reason.
Right. That's a reason. Justin Long and Sarah Paxton, who play a married couple and parents to one of the missing children, also starred in Barbarian in 2022.
Yeah, that was great.
That was funny.
I enjoyed that. I was like, he was so downtrodden and everything.
Josh Brolin goes and tries to look at the lady's ring cam, and she says, "Hell no." He sits in the car and waits for the husband to come home and asks him, and suddenly they're at the computer. Wah, wah.
Well, she's marching around the bathroom behind him, all angry and pissed off that her husband overrode her.
Just like Barbarian, Zach Cregger claimed that he came up with the premise first and worked out the rest of the plot later. I didn't have an outline. I didn't know what it was about. It was just like, let the movie show itself to me. I want to watch the movie as I'm writing it.
You always talk about witches aren't scary. Was this witch scary?
Pretty scary.
This is pretty scary. It's
scary.
A lot of power.
She kept popping up like on people's ceilings and shit. I'm like, whoa, what's that?
I know. Oh my God, she was terrified. She looked like a monstrous clown. She had like the Ronald McDonald. She looked like a deranged Mrs. Ronald McDonald.
Absolutely. Let's look at the cast and crew, shall we? Directed by Zach Cregger and written by Zach Cregger. You know him from such things as Barbarian, Weapons in 2025. He produced the TV miniseries Sasquatch in 2021.
Oh Lord, that doesn't sound good.
And he was an actor in 60 episodes of The Whitest Kids You Know from 2007 to 2011.
Let me just tell you, of things that are not scary, Sasquatch is not scary.
Disagree.
Unless I was camping in some remote area, I have no concerns about Sasquatch.
We read that
the
book.
Shark from Jaws is more concerning to me than a Squatch showing up in my backyard.
Who's scarier in the woods, though? How about that, right?
I was terrified of Jaws growing up in Palm Springs, that it was going to be in my pool. How about that?
Fair.
There's so many great so many great whites in people's kidney-shaped pools.
That is
in the desert.
True. Julia Garner played Justine. She's the teacher of the school. You know her from 2019's The Assistant. She was in Fantastic Four: First Steps in 2025. That just came out. She's in 2 movies at the same time. How about that? She was in 44 episodes of Ozark, playing Ruth Langmore. If you never watched Ozark, you got to check it out. Good stuff.
I watched 2 episodes, I think.
Not enough. And in 2011, she was in Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which I'm unfamiliar with.
Is Martha Stewart one of the Marthas?
Could be. Unclear. Josh Brolin played Archer, which sounds like a superhero.
Yeah.
You know him from such things as No Country for Old Men in 2007.
He was great. Let's just say Josh Brolin's great.
I always tell the story.
He is totally, overshadowed his father.
Ooh, that's a take. Fair. He was in Goonies when I was a kid.
Yes.
Basically as a Nepo baby. And he realized that he wasn't a good enough actor. So he stopped acting for like 10 years to go train as an actor, and then came back and is doing.
He walked the path of Keanu. Although he didn't stop acting, he just kept going. And then decided, you know what? I think I'm going to be a good actor now.
And I have to tell you, the last few things I've seen him in, not great, his performances. How about that?
Such as?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in Ballerina, the John Wick.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the new John Wick.
And he's not in that much of it, but it was just kind of like, bro, are we back to you can't spit out the lines? I mean, he's in some other movie, just from the trailer. He's in some movie where he's playing like an angel. And I'm like, we're back to old
Constantine Part 2?
Maybe. Anyway.
I love Constantine.
Josh Brolin was in Avengers Endgame playing Thanos in 2019, Avengers Infinity War in 2018. And in 2014, he was in Inherent Vice playing Lieutenant Detective Christian F. Bigfoot Bjornsson. How about that? So he's a Sasquatch.
And I will tell you, did not enjoy that film.
Was he scary, though?
He was not scary in Inherent Vice. And Inherent Vice looks like Slick Rick, but it was not.
Wow. Alden Ehrenreich was in this movie playing the police officer that she's kind of off again, on again dating, who we didn't even talk about. He tells Julia Garner that things are over with his current lady. And the lady comes back from her business trip and is immediately like, yeah, we're trying to get pregnant. So it's like, clearly, not only are they not breaking up on the outs, right? They're currently trying to get pregnant. So he's a bad dude. Let's just say that.
He's a bad dude, and I like that he has the cop mustache. It's very important if you're going to be an officer, a prison guard, a CHP. It's very important to grow the stachio.
And you liked him getting stuck with multiple drug needles because of his actions.
That's right. And doing not a goddamn thing about it. I'd be like, oh, shit.
He had a Band-Aid on his finger. That's something. The best
I
thing.
think he's a dum-dum. He's a dum-dum, and his his girlfriend is his boss's daughter.
Yes. Who I actually love her. She's on the podcast I listen to. She's one of the people from How Did This Get Made? My favorite podcast. So she was on it as Donna. I remember her name because you see her coming up. She attacks Julie Garner in the liquor store and pours booze on her.
So yeah, she was beating the shit out of her.
That was hilarious.
Really misplaced. Somebody else needed the shit beat out of them.
Oh, fair. But anyway, Alden Ehrenreich, you know him from Hail Caesar in 2016. He
Never saw that.
Solo, a Star Wars story, playing Han Solo in 2018.
No, I didn't see that shit.
He was in Beautiful Creatures in 2013, and he was in Oppenheimer.
Don't even know what that is.
Oppenheimer in 2023.
So what you're saying, he's a stranger to me because I haven't seen any of that. I have no desire to see Oppenheimer. No curiosity, no interest.
Oppenheimer was good. He was also Cocaine Bear, if you want to check that out. How about that?
Dude, why is that not on our list?
Maybe it's because it was marketed as being kind of funny, and it's not funny. How about that? I don't like comedies that are not funny. Benedict Wong played the principal of the school.
Yes.
Marcus, you know him from such things as Annihilation. I feel like... Go ahead.
Did I see that?
Yes, we did it on the show with Natalie Portman. He was in that.
I can't even remember. We see so many fucking movies. I can't even remember what that was about.
And yet I remember each and every one of them.
I can barely remember Weapons that I saw 2 weeks ago at the theater.
Fair.
A week ago.
He was in Doctor Strange in 2016 playing Wong, which he played again in Avengers Infinity War in 2018. And he was in The Martian in 2015 with
I didn't care for that either. I didn't care for that either. You're just saying words that have no meaning to me at this point.
June Diane Raphael played Donna. You know her from such things as Unfinished Business in 2015. She was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall in 2008. She was in Year One in 2009. Long Shot in 2019. And she was in many, 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 many episodes of Grace and Frankie on Netflix. Did you ever watch Grace and Frankie?
Again, words, I don't know. I believe our parents, I'm too young to watch Grace and Frankie.
I enjoy
what our parents watch.
How dare you? And last but not least, Amy Madigan played Gladys, the evil witch woman.
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
She's a rock star.
She was in Streets of Fire in 1984 playing McCoy.
Streets of Fire? I remember the song.
She was in Field of Dreams in 1989.
Yeah.
She was in Uncle Buck in 1989.
Dude, she was Buck's girlfriend. Oh my God, I love Uncle Buck.
And she was in Gone Baby Gone in 2007.
I always get that confused with Gone Girl. Different movies.
Right. Different
movies.
We should add Gone Girl to our list, frankly. That's a great one.
All those books by that author, what is it, The Lady on the Train? They're all good books. Those are all good summer reads.
Let's look at the rating, shall we? Let's see. On Rotten Tomatoes, Weapons currently has 94% fresh, certified. Boom.
I just had a vision.
Yes.
What if Auntie from this film started dating Long Legs? What a beautiful crossover that would be.
First of all, no one called her Auntie. Number one.
I can't remember her name. Gladys. But you know what I'm saying, brah. They would make the most fascinating couple. Nick Cage and all his strangely deranged feminine whatever. And her little tribute to Ronald McDonald. Held in hands walking down the street.
Do you know what the audience gave Weapons?
100%.
85%.
It went down?
It went down, shockingly enough.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Let's look at the top.
America. I don't know. Is this just America? Correct me. Do I cry for the world, or do I cry for our country again?
I think cry for both, frankly, for all sorts of reasons.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
The truth is, I never left you. Top critics, Nick Shager of the Daily Beast says, escalating at a mad rate until it tips into outright lunacy. It's a higher and more hellish brand of nightmare. How about that? That's a positive review.
I hate these little quips. That's a review, or is that a review now? Like 2 sentences?
Could be. That's not the whole review. It's like kind of a little snippet of the review.
All right.
Megan Navarro from Bloody Disgusting says, this is a horror movie that trusts its audience while also delivering on practical effects-driven violence, methodically employed scares, and a biting sense of humor that'll leave you squealing and squirming in equal measure. 4 out of 5.
I don't care for the word squealing. That always brings back trauma of watching Deliverance. That's all. I can't do it.
I do have that same trauma, for God's sake. Aaron, what is your... Oh, there's one more review. Excuse me.
I was going to say, are we forgetting our best friend?
Our in-house movie critic, AI Rex Reed, had this to say about Weapons 2025. Not to be confused with Weapons from 2007 starring Nick Cannon. Different movie. Different movie. This is what AI Rex Reed had to say. Weapons is like a suburban PTA meeting gone dreadfully right, where 17 kids vanish at 2:17 a.m. The teacher looks scarier than the devil, and Josh Brolin's one, what the F, sums up the entire town's therapy bill. There you go.
I will say, not as good.
Not his best work.
Not AI Rex Reed's best work, for sure.
What is your rating, Aaron?
My rating is, I'm coming out swinging with a 4.10. I did not question the logic while I was in the moment the whole time. My brain was ticking around trying to figure this out. What's going on? What does this mean? I wouldn't change a thing, friend.
And I don't want to miss a thing. I agree. This is a solid 4+ perhaps.
Yeah.
It's got genuine laughs, genuine scares, and genuine potato peeling someone's face. So it's got the whole. It covers all the bases.
If you wanted potato peeling, this is the place to be.
This is the one. I told Lucy we did Evil Dead Rises on this show, where they literally had a cheese grater that they used on somebody at one point. So that
movie is so fucking trash. I hated that movie.
Anyway,
never mention it to me again.
I would argue this is the finest horror movie since Evil Dead Rises. At least in recent memory, unless I'm forgetting something. But I enjoyed it. I would say top marks all along the road. So there you go.
Agreedo.
Any last thoughts for Weapons?
Go see it. Go see it at the theater.
Go see it.
God damn it. Although by the time Kevin releases this, it will be long gone.
Correct. You may have to wait some time. So, thank you very much. Go to our pages across social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. You may be watching us on YouTube at this very moment. Ooh la la.
You might.
You can also email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
I'm just going to tell you, go to the gram, The Cult of Aaron, join the cult. I also manage our TikTok account, so if you think you're talking to Kevin, you are not.
You are not.
Kevin will not see any of that nonsense at all. And I have artwork on Artsy First Dibs, Aaron Doherty, Instant Dreams Gallery.
Beautiful. So check out all that good stuff. Do yourself a favor. Aaron, what are our friends saying across the social media landscape at this very moment?
Well, I'm going to tell you, they're not saying a lot.
Oh, no.
In regard to Argento's opera,
yes.
which is a masterpiece,
oh shit.
Jazz says, I love this one. Well, and why wouldn't you? And in regards to Deep Star 6, for years I thought this was a fever dream nobody knew that I was talking about till after Google found it. Carlos Ruiz dad.
Thank you very much, Carlos. I agree. I thought and frankly hoped it was a fever dream. Sadly, it was actually in theaters. Who could say?
I had never seen it before, and I knew I was on the right track.
Next week we're doing.
Don't doubt yourself, children. You know.
Do not. You know in your heart of hearts. Next week, this is kind of dealer's choice. I asked Erin, "What do you want to do?" And she pulled out a movie I had never even heard of. It's called Polaroid. Polaroid, and this speaks to Erin's artistic medium. Am I right, Erin?
That's a fact, Jack. And disappointingly, it shows a 29% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So we should be able to pick this bone for some trash to talk. There should be plenty of trash to talk about here.
What one can hope. It is available for free on Amazon Prime Video. So that's
even better. Now you're talking. If it's going to be terrible, at least let it be free.
And it's only on that. Now you can rent it in other places for $2.99, but evidently the only place to see it for free or with subscription is Amazon Prime. So check that out. Send in favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So
let me ask you this question. Please. Since it's a name brand, they would have had to license this, right?
I would imagine.
I mean, you couldn't have a movie called Kodak or Tesla, right? Without some agreement. So,
well, you know better than me. Does Polaroid still exist?
Okay, so Polaroid went out of business in the 90s.
There's your
and
answer.
Then it was and then it was resurrected. The format was resurrected by this group called the Impossible Project because they thought it was impossible. And they actually got enough funding, and I think the current president's father is an oligarch.
In Russia?
So he put enough money in to buy the name.
So is it possible this was a down period where it was dead and they made the movie?
Yeah, I have to check the date. So it's possible that it was out. But what impossible, because it was Cambridge, Massachusetts, they bought all the old equipment and now they own the name. So
okay. Well, fair enough.
We'll have to do
some research, or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just speculate.
Right.
And who knows?
I mean, if you're gonna have a movie and call it Oscar Mayer Wiener, you probably had a license.
You think? Anyway, thank you very
much.
It
writes itself.
Be well.
Be well, you bastards.